Hello everyone, welcome to the turning point. In this session, let us learn Lami's theorem. Lami's theorem is the theorem which is associated with three forces and equilibrium concept. If the system is under equilibrium and if it is subjected to only three forces, then only you can use this theorem. First of all, let us see the statement. Lami's theorem states that if a body is in equilibrium under the action of three forces, then each force is proportional to sine of the angle between other two forces. Let us see the analytical relation for this one. I have considered three forces here. So one is P, another one is Q, the third force is R. Let us consider the angle between the forces Q and R is alpha. Let us consider the angle between the forces P and R is beta. And the remaining angle, which is the angle between the forces Q and P, consider this one as gamma. Remember, you can apply Lami's theorem when there are three forces and that too, those three forces should be in equilibrium. As per the statement, every force is proportional to sine of the angle between other two forces. Close P. So when you close P, so you are able to observe the two forces Q and R there. So the angle between those two is alpha. So that means P is directly proportional to sine alpha. So now consider Q. Close Q. So when you close Q, so the remaining two forces are P and R. So the angle between those two is beta. So therefore, Q is directly proportional to sine beta. Now consider the third force. So third force is R. Close R. So R is directly proportional to sine of the angle between. So the other two forces are P and Q. So and the angle between those two is gamma. So R is directly proportional to sine gamma. So I will replace all the proportionalities by a constant. So from this, P is equal to certain constant into sine alpha there. So what I am doing here is, so I am making it like this, P by sine alpha is equal to constant. Similarly, from this one, Q is equal to certain constant into sine beta. From that, Q by sine beta is equal to constant. From this relation, R by sine gamma is equal to constant. From these three relations, I can write a relation P by sine alpha is equal to Q by sine beta is equal to R by sine gamma. So this is the relation for Lami's theorem. Here the relation is different from triangle rule. So when we use triangle law of forces, so that law will be applicable when there are two forces and when there is a necessity to calculate a resultant for that force. So then you can use triangle law of forces. But here the case is different. So here the system is under equilibrium. So here the resultant magnitude is equal to 0 for this system. For the given force system, the resultant magnitude is equal to 0. So when you consider triangle law of forces, when you consider triangle law of forces, suppose if P is one force and Q is another force. So if two forces are considered as the adjacent sides of a triangle taken in order, then the closing side of the triangle will represent the resultant in opposite direction here. So this is a triangle law. But for Lami's theorem, if you form a polygon or if you form a triangle with the forces here, so then how it will be? So first I have to draw P here and next Q without changing in magnitude. If I draw Q, so then it will be like this, and resultant is vertical, right? So resultant. So here it forms a closed triangle. So that means if we consider the force system and if we form a polygon or an object with that, so if it forms a closed polygon, so then it is under equilibrium. So where resultant magnitude is 0. Here P, Q, R are three different forces, and these three different forces are under equilibrium where resultant is equal to 0. But here in triangle law, there are two forces. For those two forces you are going to calculate resultant. So this is the difference between triangle law and Lami's theorem. So you have to remember, we are going to use triangle law when there is an SCT to calculate resultant, and you are going to use Lami's theorem when there are three forces, and that too those three forces should be under equilibrium. Hope you are able to understand the concept of Lami's theorem. If you are able to understand, go and hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.